When I was 6, I wanted to sing. My mother said, "You should have the voice of an angel just like mine. Instead, you have a most annoying whine. Keep practicing in time." When I was 10, I wanted to write poems of adventures in imaginary lands, of princes and warriors and women so bold, of intrepid explorers searching for gold and other good stuff. My father said, "You need strong words and a pointed pen to bend the mind of those who seek to impose their views on this world. Keep writing, but your words don't rhyme." As I grew up, I wanted to dance. But I'm going to stop right there and not continue this. So, if you want to hear the story, I say crick, you say crack. Crick? Crack. Crick? Crack. Crick? Crack. Oh, well, I knew I wanted to sing. I knew I wanted to dance. But even before I was 6, I knew I wanted to tell stories. So, when I was about 4 or 5, and adults mostly ask my name, I would say, "My name is Angela Harriet. I was named after my great, 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 great aunt, Harriet Tubman. She led all the slaves to freedom." Now, I would get a very tolerant smile, a little pat on the head. Uh, Sometimes I would get a blank stare from some of these grown-ups. But it didn't matter. To me, I would always follow it up with, "She was my ancestor. That means she's dead." Well, it's, the family law has it that a great uncle had told us kids the story of Harriet Tubman. And I just embraced it and started calling myself Harriet. Well, oh, Harriet? Well, so Harriet became my home name. I was Harriet to my friends. I was Harriet to my relatives. I was Harriet in school. I just loved it. And also, in a nice way, I was, "Hey, Miss Harriet," when I did something especially nice. And when things weren't going so well, and I got on some adults' last nerve, I was Miss Harriet Tubman. You know the voice, you know the look. Well, I found out this name followed me all the way through high school. And then when I got to high school, I had to use my real government name. Okay? So I also found out a few things. I also found out that maybe Harriet Tubman didn't lead all the slaves to freedom. She did about 60 or 70 of them, her family, and she helped liberate a whole bunch more, but not all the slaves to freedom. But it used to sound good when I was 5. I also found out that she probably wasn't my great, 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 great aunt, that we probably weren't related at all, but could possibly be, according to my grandmother. Now, before the days of Ancestry.com, I had my ancestry grandmother of one. Yeah, she was before the internet. Now, if you had 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 weeks, 5 years, 5 days, and you wanted to take the time to listen, she could trace your ancestry back generations. Yeah. Generally, finding some sort of relationship to our family. This woman was amazing. She said, that is the way they used to do it in Africa. Now, she probably couldn't find Africa on a map. But everything, all the advice we got, that's how they did it in Africa, you know. She says, that's how they did it in Africa. You know, there used to be those people, and they were called the griots. That's what the French call them. But before that, they were called the jelly. And they were the musicians, and they were the historians, and they told stories. They knew everybody's business. And she says, and I am one of those people. I am carrying on the tradition. I am a Jolly Muso. Oh, yeah, that's a female. That's a woman who's doing all this work. Yep. Yeah. I know we women are strong. We women are talented. And we women are good looking. So, after college, the name Harriet doesn't come up, only in family reunions, and the little kids ask, why are you calling her Harriet? Her name is Angela. But Harriet, I embrace Harriet Tubman. And as I continue the tradition of my family, storytelling and music and dance, I talked about this woman, about the exploits of the things that she achieved for a woman of her day, a black woman, and a freed slaves. She was a soldier. She was a nurse. She was a cook. She was a spy. She was a housekeeper. She was the only woman to lead a United States Army attack. I mean, hey, this is back in the day, right? Yeah. Unbelievable. Somebody who couldn't read or write achieved all these things. And even past that, in her old age, she founded a home for freed blacks who were destitute. She founded a home. So it seemed to be my goal to take this Harriet Tubman and all that she had done and not let those memories die somewhere, even in memory or even in the pages of a history book. It was my goal to carry this on and let everybody know her name. Mm-hmm. So as I continue to do this, schools and universities and anybody who wanted to listen to me, because I love to talk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might be giving you wrong information, but that's okay. I say it with such a degree of certainty that you have no choice but to believe. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so I tell the story, or used to tell the story, of Harriet Tubman for quite a while. But, you know, I would always put in the disclaimer that I don't think I'm really related, but my grandmother said I could be. So, you know, take it or leave it. Well, on one occasion, I'm at a school, and I have just told this story. You know, I've adopted the persona of Harriet Tubman. And at the end of the presentation, I'm packing up my stuff. And there is a third grade teacher and a little charge. They come over to me, and the teacher comes over and she gushes. Oh, I just love it. I just love it. The way that you could trace your history, the way that you can trace your ancestry to somebody so famous. And I say to myself, this teacher wasn't really listening because she missed the disclaimer somewhere that I wasn't really related. So I remind her, I'm not really related, I say. And she doesn't hear that either. She says, oh, this is so fantastic. I am going to go home tonight and sign up for Ancestry.com. And then I knew for sure that she wasn't listening. Then she thrusts the third grader charge forward, and the little girl comes up and she says, I know all about Harriet Tubman, but I want you to know that I liked how you told the story. I'm like, okay, a third grade New York Times critic? I said, well, that was very nice of you, thank you. And I would like you to take this story and go tell it to 100 people before you get married. Now, it used to be my parting shot to the kids when I was telling stories. And she says, I have this. I want to give you a present. And she reaches in her pocket and she pulls out this little bracelet. It's red, black, and green beads on a pipe cleaner. And she hands it to me and she says, that was a good story. Praise indeed. Well, and then she skipped out. After her teacher, they leave the multi-purpose room. End of the story? Nah. You want to hear it? Crick? 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 A year later, I'm in the Raley's supermarket 2 days before Thanksgiving, trying to find the fixings for Thanksgiving dinner. So I am there in Turkey Land, looking through all the frozen birds, trying to find the smallest turkey. And I hear a voice behind me that says, hello, Miss Harriet. And then a little bit stronger, hello, Miss Harriet. I look around. There's a child, a girl child, the same one who had been following me through the meat. She followed me through fish, pork, beef, chicken, and now we were at Butterball. Okay. And I look at her, hi. And she says, do you remember me? Now, what would you say to a 9 or 10-year-old who comes up and asks you this question? Of course. How are you? And she says, oh, I'm good. I'm in 4th grade now. 4th grade is good. And you can hear the cogs going, who the heck is this child? And then she says, did you like the bracelet? And then, ta-dang, light bulbs. I said, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, it's in the jewelry box on my dresser. That was the truth. To this day, I still have it. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. And so now I can have a conversation. Now I know. I have a point of reference. I said, well, have you told your story to 100 people yet? I said, wait a minute. Are you married yet? And she says, no, I'm not. I'm only 10 years old. I'm never going to get married. I said to myself, give her a few more years. She'll be changing that tune. I said, so, have you told it to 100 people yet? And she looked at me with a very worldly look. And then she said, not yet, but I'm working on it. And with that, she tossed her braids and skipped off in the direction of eggs and dairy. And I went back to digging among the frozen turkeys, blasting every turkey I could think of, saying I will never ever eat this stuff again. But digging through the turkeys and saying to myself, there goes the next generation of storytellers, of the jelly, of the griots. There it goes. And with that, the beat goes on. That's my story. Crick, crick, crick. Story ends, wire bends.